Welcome to Learn with Amin. At the end of this video, you will know how to apply for the renewal of Indian passport in the United States. The process is very similar for the renewal of Indian passport from any of the Western countries. The first step is to go to VFS Global website. Click on the first link. So this takes you to the main page of VFS Global. Now click on Passport Services. Then you can select the resident country, United States of America, and the citizen of India. Then click on Go. Now you click on Apply for a passport. Click on Start Now. This is the step-by-step guide. First step would be the completion of the government online form. Click on the link under step 1, complete it by yourself. Click here. This takes you to the embassy website of Passport India. Now again, here you need to select your resident country. So all is selected. You can go down and you can search for United States of America. Click on this. This takes you to the portal that is supposed to be used by the residents of United States. If you do not have the username and account on this website, you have to click on register. It will be asking you for the embassy or consulate. Here you need to select the embassy or consulate that is very near to you. I am from Austin, so I will be selecting USA Houston, and then I need to give the given name and the surname of the applicant, then date of birth, then email ID of the applicant, and you can basically select that the login ID can be the same as the email ID. Click on yes. Then don't have to provide the login ID. Then enter the passwords and hint question like birth city, favorite color, favorite cricketer. Provide your answer and enter the characters that are displayed, and then click on register. So this sends you an email to your email ID asking for the activation of the account on this website. Once you click on that link, your account will be activated, and after that you can log into this website. Already have an account on this website. I'll click on user link. I'm going to enter the details of my email ID and the password. Then I'll enter the characters to complete the CAPTCHA and then click on login. This basically takes you inside your account. Now there are multiple options that are shown. You will be applying for a normal passport, so that would be called as ordinary passport, and this is the same link for the fresh passport or the reissuance of passport. Click on apply for an ordinary passport. It is going to ask you whether it is a fresh passport or reissue of passport. Since we are renewing the passport, it would be reissue. What is the reason? So you can select the options like change in existing personal particulars, or validity expired of the passport within the last 3 years, or the passport is due to expire now. Or you can apply for the reissuance if the pages are exhausted, or if the passport is damaged, or if the passport is lost. So when the passport is lost, you would have to take the police report as a supporting document. Or if the passport validity expired more than 3 years ago, that is separate. But in our case, the validity is expiring very soon. You have to select this option. Then there is type of application, normal or tatkal. Depending on your circumstance, you can select the option. I am selecting normal. And type of passport booklet. So usually the normal booklet is 36 pages, but if you want a jumbo booklet, then you can select 60 pages, and this would cost around $25 extra than the normal booklet. If you travel a lot, then you can select the options of 60 pages. Then click on next. Here are the details that are asked about the applicant. Enter the given name first and then the surname. Then you can select the gender. Then have you ever been known by other names? You can select option no. Have you ever changed your name? Usually it is no. And then you can select the date of birth. Remember, this is website of Indian mission, so the date format would be DD, MM, YY instead of MM and DD, which is generally used in United States. Be careful with that. Select place of birth. Then is your place of birth out of India? mostly no. Then state, you can select the district. Then you can select your marital status. Since we are talking about the renewal of passport for an adult, assume that he is married. Citizenship of India by birth. Now if the PAN and the voter ID card details are available, then you can enter, otherwise you can skip it. This information is optional. Then the employment type, if it is a homemaker who does not do a job, then you can select homemaker. If you are a student, then you can select the option of student, and if you are working for a private sector, then you can select the option of private. Educational qualification, if you have passed bachelor's, then you would select graduate and above. Is either of your parent a government servant? Select based on your condition. No. Is applicant eligible for non-ECR category? So ECR is immigration check required. ECR is for the people who did not qualify or pass 10th class. So if you have passed 10th class, the option is yes. Since I have selected graduate and above here, so this is automatically populated. Then you can select a visible distinguishing mark. Here we have given visible distinguishing mark, which is usually available on the Indian identity documents. You can provide where you have a mole. Aadhaar number, if it is not available or if you do not want to provide, then you can leave it blank. Make sure that you don't select any of the options here. If you select one of these options, then you would have to provide the Aadhaar number. Click on next. Basically enter the information of your family, the father's given name, and given name is fundamentally first name plus middle name, and surname is fundamentally the last name. So you would enter father's name, mother's name, enter the name of the legal guardian. If it is applicable only, it is optional, so you can skip it. Then you can provide the name of the spouse. Then click on next. It is giving us the important notice that presence of an applicant is not mandatory or compulsory at the Indian address. And one more thing you need to remember, for the passport renewal from United States of America, you need to provide two addresses, one Indian address and one US address. So that is a must. Is your passport printable address out of India? It is recommended that you can provide the passport printable address as an Indian address. So you can select option no over here and provide the details of your Indian address. The name of the city, the name of the state, the name of the district, and you can select the PIN code. And telephone number is optional. Then you can provide your mobile number. Then you can provide your email ID. Provide the name of the police station that is closer to your home address. Sometimes the same city has one town, two town, rural town police stations. So whichever is the jurisdiction of your place, then you need to select that. And then you need to select your other address, and this has to be outside of India. So it has to be a US address. Is your other address out of India? Click on yes, and then provide the details of your US address, the name of the city, the zip code, country, United States or USA. Then you need to provide your phone number. No need to provide your telephone number. Then click on next. Now it is asking you for an information whether the passport printable address that you have given, which is the Indian address, is it exactly similar to the Indian address that is printed on your previous expired or expiring passport. So yes or no. So if there is no change in the address, there is no need to provide additional address proof, because the expired passport acts as an address proof for itself. But if you are providing a different address, if your family, if your parents in India have moved to a new location, then you would have to provide the Indian address proof also. So here you need to select no change in address or I have valid address proof. So once you click that, you can provide the details of an emergency contact. You can enter anybody's name, provide the mobile number, provide the email address. The telephone number is also optional, so you can provide or skip it. Then you would have to give the details of your previous passport, so you can enter the passport number, the place of issue, the date of issue you can select, and the date of expiry needs to be selected as well. Once again, remember that this is an Indian government application, so there would be the date format is DD YYYY, and then you would have to provide the file number also, and then details of previous, current diplomatic or official passport. So you never held diplomatic or official passport, general public do not have this, so you need to select this option. Have you ever applied for passport but not issued? So usually normal people, the answer would be no. And then click on next, and then it is going to ask you some details. So usually these kind of questions are asked regarding criminal proceedings, or if you have case against you. So you just need to select the options yes or no as per your conditions, but for a normal law abiding Indian citizen, mostly the answer would be no. Are there any proceedings? No. Has any warrant? No. Has a warrant for your arrest? No. Has an order prohibiting your departure? No. Have you at any time preceding been convicted by Indian court? Have you ever been denied? Have you ever been impounded? Have your passport been revoked? Have you ever applied for or been granted citizenship by other country? No. Have you held passport of any other country? No. Have you surrendered your Indian passport? No. Have you ever applied for renunciation? No. Have you ever returned to India on EC? No. Have you ever been deported from any country? No. Have you ever been repatriated from any country back to India? No. Then click on next. Now it is going to take you to the passport preview page. Now make sure that all the details that you have entered over here are correct, because once you submit the application you cannot make the edits or changes. You would have to submit another application if you want to change any of the details later after submission. So this is where you affix the applicant's photograph. It is 2" by 2" one with a white background. I will go through the photo requirements again, and this is where the applicant signature needs to be, and also applicant signature is required on the last page of the government application form. I will show that. So please validate passport preview details. Okay, please verify all the details, the address details. There are no mistakes in the PIN code, zip code, such things. Now once again it is asking you to verify the application form details, and make sure that there are no errors in the application. Once you have verified this, you need to click on I agree, enter the name of the place where you are filling this form, and then you need to click on submit. Then you need to just say yes, all details are correct. Now once you have done this, you will be given the application reference number, and this is actually required, so you need to make a note of it. Now click on home. Now you can also see the ARN, the application reference number over here, the applicant name, the submission date, and the application type. You can click on this, and then you can basically print your application form. So once again, this is the 2 by 2 square inches photograph. You have to affix on this, then you have to provide your signature over here, and then the last signature is at the last page over here. And if it is an adult, the adult signs it. If the applicant is minor, then one of the parents can sign the application form. And that finishes our first stage, which is the completion of the government online form. In order to know what are the supporting documents, you need to go to step 2. In the step 2, we take a look at the supporting documents and we need to arrange the documents as per the checklist. Click here. It is asking you to select the passport type. So you are going to select reissuance of passport. If you are doing it in Tatkal service, you need to select the first option. For this case, let us select reissuance of passport. And here there are some guidelines. You can read them at your own leisure, and then you need to go to documents required, and it is telling the fee structure. Basically, between the jumbo booklet and the ordinary booklet there is a difference of $25. So here we are for the documents required, and here we have the document checklist for reissuance with the old passport. So this is for lost passport, this is for damaged passport, but we are going for the first option. So once you click that, let us see. So this is the checklist basically. In the checklist, you can basically read some important guidelines over here. On every page, you need to mention the applicant's name, the email address, the passport number. So this is the old passport number, the one that is expiring or has recently expired. You need to provide your US mobile number over here, and then you need to go document by document and need to provide that documentation. First thing is, in the application package, you will be adding government application online form, the form that we have just finished in step 1. We have printed it out and we are providing the signature on page 1 and the last page, and we are also affixing a photograph on the first page. So that is the government application form, and it needs to be provided in original. That means the first page, it has some colorful prints, so we need to take the color printout at least for the page 1. So you remember that. Again, on every page you need to fill these details. Here the signature, please do not put thumbprint. Although it is mentioned on the government application form, you can provide left hand thumbprint. You need to make sure if you are an adult, if this is for an adult application for reissue of passport, the adult cannot provide thumbprint. It is only in case of minor. Adult should provide a signature on page 1 inside the box below the photograph and on the last page at the end wherever the space is provided. And the address instructions, as I have previously mentioned, we need to mention one Indian address and one USA address. You can change the printable address to US address and backup address as Indian, but I would recommend you all to have the Indian address as printable address, and other or additional address should be the USA address. Now the photograph, you require 2 photographs and the size of the photograph is 2 inch by 2 inch. Preferably it has to be white background, and make sure that both the photographs, the 2 photographs must be identical and it must be recent, and all the other specifications should be followed. And you can click on this link to check for additional photo specifications and the examples of what photo is acceptable and what is not. So these are the original 2 physical photographs, and the third one is current original Indian passport. So that means the Indian passport that is expiring or has recently expired needs to be provided in original, and also a copy needs to be provided, and the copy should be of the first 2 and the last 2 pages, which basically has the details of the applicant, the father details, mother details, and the spouse details. So you need to provide the original passport and also a photocopy. Next is affidavit for change of appearance and signature. So this needs to be downloaded from here. It keeps on changing, so please download it from the latest checklist. So that is the reason I won't be providing the link of these affidavits. So this is the affidavit for change of appearance or signature. Fill these details as per your condition. So this is the name of the applicant, this is the name of father, and here the resident of. So here you need to provide the USA current address and holder of passport number. So this is the passport that is expiring, issued on the date, and this is the place that is mentioned in the passport. And then you can select my signature has not changed. So I would recommend that you select this and provide your recent photograph of 2" by 2" photo here, affix it. Then you need to basically sign it over here, and this is the date and this is the place, and this is the USA place wherever you are located, and this is just original. So you just need to provide the signature, no need to notarize it until and unless in the new checklist it is mentioned notarize. Okay, make sure of that. Now the mandatory document is Annexure E. Download it from here, and this is the Annexure E, and here you need to fill the applicant detail, then residing at. So this is the USA address, this is the date of birth, name of father, full name of mother, full name of spouse, and you need to mention the date over here, and you need to read all of these statements and whether you agree to it. So no need to sign it at the end of each of the statement, just read it. And once you have read it, sign over here, write the name of the USA city, comma state you are located in, and then this is basically the date when you have signed this document. So this needs to be provided in original, no need of notary as of now as per the new checklist of August 2024. But if this checklist is going to change and if it mentions notarized copy, then you need to notarize it. Okay, and the next document is the valid status in the United States. You need to provide that you are staying in the United States legally. So for that you need to provide a notarized color copy in original, and you can provide the following documents. You can basically provide a notarized color copy. So this is not a black and white copy, this is a color copy, and you need to notarize it by a public notary. Either it can be a green card, the US visa, or employment authorization document, or the approval notice, or the work permit or study permit, and one of these documents would suffice. But for example, the current visa has expired and you only have a receipt notice of the renewal of that visa, then you need to basically provide the recently expired visa and the receipt notice of the renewal application of the visa. So 2 documents in this case you need to provide, and you need to notarize both of them. That is for the valid status in the United States, and then you need to provide a proof of address in the United States, and it has to be the color copy, cannot be black and white copy. And currently it is not mentioned notarization over here. Only when it is mentioned notarization, then only you need to notarize this document. You can basically provide the state issued driving license or state issued ID or utility bill, but it has to be very recent, not more than 3 months old, or a lease agreement. So when you are providing the lease agreement, so make sure that you provide only first few pages or first page. The details that needs to be clearly mentioned on the document is your full name, your complete address, and the date needs to be mentioned in the utility bill as well. If multiple pages are required, you need to attach the multiple pages, or you can provide mortgage, income tax return, and for college or university students you can provide a letter from your institution. So please follow the requirements as mentioned. Only one of the below documents is required for the proof of address of a US address. And then finally is the fee payment and courier. So we will be paying the fee online on the VFS portal. After you make the payment, you will receive an email confirmation of the fee payment to your email address. So you need to basically print that document, and that acts as a fee payment receipt. And then the courier label, if you are selecting VFS offered courier label, then you will be receiving only one courier label, and VFS will be printing the return courier label. But if you are selecting the UPS courier label by yourself, which is not VFS offered, then it will provide you two labels, and the return label should be put in the application package, and that will be used to send your passport back to you, the expired passport and the renewal passport. And one label will be used to send application package to the VFS office. So for that, you need to click here and create a profile on the VFS portal. We will be doing that very shortly. So fee payment you can make online. So if you make online, then you receive that email with the fee payment receipt, and you will attach it. But if you are paying by money order, then you have to make it in favor of this, and then you can provide that money order or banker check in your application package. Another thing is personal checks are not acceptable. So remember that it has to be a banker's check only or money order. And also FedEx prepaid labels are not acceptable because VFS offered labels are FedEx. So if you want to send through FedEx, then you need to select VFS offered courier label. And make sure that the return address should match with the address proof that you have submitted and mentioned on the application form. That's why I have told you that the address that you mention is the current address where you are living. And now there are additional supporting documents, but these are condition based, not required for everyone. So if you are removing or changing spouse name, divorce decree or new marriage certificate or death certificate is required as per your condition. If you have changed your name, then you would have to provide the affidavit of name change and notarize it. And this one, Indian address proof. So this is actually required when you are changing your Indian address from the printed address on your expiring passport. So if the address is matching, then the expired passport, it acts as a Indian address proof. But if your parents have moved, and if you now want a different address printed on your new passport than the one on the expiring passport, then you would have to provide Indian address proof. For that, Aadhaar card, recent bank statement, driver's license, utility bill with your name on it. So you need to provide one of these, or voter ID card, or copy of ration card, then copy of photo passbook, or parents passport copy as their name is on the applicant passport. One of these documents you need to provide, and it has to be self-attested. So you can basically sign at the bottom right of the page. If it is multiple page, then you need to sign on each page of the document. So that is self-attested copy needs to be provided. And then changing a parent's name, depending on your condition, you can attach these additional documents. I would also recommend you to attach two additional documents which are not mentioned here. One is the Aadhaar card, and another is birth certificate of India needs to be added to the application package. I have seen some applicants getting asked for these documents. If something is not right, or if it is a peculiar case, if you do not want any rejection or request for additional document, you can directly provide the Aadhaar card and the birth certificate of India in your application package. And this is the last page. You need to write the name, passport, email ID and mobile number on each page, and here you need to basically sign. And whatever the documents that you have provided, you can basically tick over here. And you need to also provide this checklist. In this current checklist, it is not mentioned that you need to provide the checklist, correct? But in the old checklist, I have seen that they have asked the applicants to print the checklist and provide it within the application package. So you need to also provide this checklist as part of the application package, and make sure when you do any print of the government application form or adult checklist, you should only do one-sided printing. You cannot do two-sided printing. So that is with the adult checklist for the reissue of passport. Now the second step is also complete. Now we are going to the step 3, which is the payment of the fee online, which is the preferred method of paying the fee. And finally, courier labels generation and mailing your application to the VFS Indian Consular Application Center. And also you need to find out which jurisdiction you come under. For example, if it is Texas, then it would be Houston Center. So you need to decide on your jurisdiction center, and that is the address where you need to send your mailing package. Now click here. This takes you to the VFS portal, and this is the new user registration. You need to enter your first name, last name, email ID, mobile number of United States, then password. Confirm the password and check all of these. Provide the captcha and then submit. It will send a link to your email address, and you click on it and your account gets activated on the VFS Global portal. And then you need to go to the login page, provide your email address, you have logged into the VFS account. Basically this is the home page. Now create new application. Click on this create new application. Now it is asking for several details. Click on the center. The closest center for Texas is Houston. Select the application category. So here we are applying for reissuance of passport or fresh passport. Click on that, and the application category is passport going to expire or already expired, 10 years validity. Then click on postal, and I would recommend you to pay online, but you can also pay through a check, but you cannot pay by personal check. You have to pay by banker's check or money order. So online payment, then click on continue. Now here it is asking you to add customer. So click on add customer. This will be asking you for the ARN number, application reference number. So application reference number and the government reference number are the same. So this is basically the number that you obtained after you have submitted the application on government website. Select booklet type. We are applying for 36 page, so that is ordinary booklet. And then you need to select the passport number. Then you need to enter your date of birth in DD, MM, YY format. The passport expiry date you can provide as per your old passport. The place of birth as per your passport. Okay, so this is the expiry date. This is the passport issue date. So make sure you are entering the correct details. And this is the place of issue. Once again, for the expiring passport, the nationality is India. First name and then last name, then select the gender, then father's name. Then you need to select the service type. Let me select normal, and this is the mobile number, email address, and then you select the state. And after this you are going to click on submit. So make sure that you have used all of the correct details. So after you have submitted, you can select the courier service. You can either select VFS offered courier service or own courier label. So that would be of UPS. So it's better to select VFS offered courier service, and there is only one option, which is FedEx. Now click on continue, and then it will be showing you the amount of fee that is charged. If you want to remove any of the additional services, you can click on additional services, and you can uncheck this SMS option, because anyways they will be providing you with the email. If there are any updates on your application, they will send those updates through email, so you can uncheck this SMS option. And if you are providing 2 physical photos which you do not have doubt upon, they are following all the photo requirements, then you can uncheck this option. That would save around $8. But if you are doubtful that the photo might not be as per the specification, then you can keep it, because then VFS will take care of the photo. You just need to provide either a digital copy or you provide the physical copy, and then they will take care of it. They will upload, make edits, and somehow the photo will be accepted. So uncheck whatever the services you do not require. Click on save. Previously the amount was $146. After removing the additional services, it is $133. And then you select this checkbox showing that you acknowledged, then click on continue. Are you sure you want to submit? Click on OK. Just before that, it is going to ask you for the customer mailing address. So you can provide your mailing address, which is your current address and the address that you have mentioned in your government application form for the US address. Then click on validate. So you need to enter the correct address so that it gets validated. Once it is validated, then you need to click on submit. Click on OK. Accept the terms and conditions. Then click on confirm application. Click on OK. Now it has taken you to the payment page. Provide the credit card details over here and then click on pay. And the payment goes through. After the payment is done, you will receive a payment receipt on your email address. You need to print out that email payment receipt and you need to include that in your application package. We have already discussed that in the checklist. You can check the previous portion of the video for the checklist. So once you have made the payment, you need to go back to your VFS homepage again, VFS portal page. So let me once again go through this link. So after the payment is done, you need to click on download Courier labels, which is located on the left pane. Then it is going to tell you to search for your application. You need to enter your ARN number over here, passport number over in this field, and the email address in the email ID field, and then click on search. Then it will ask you to download the Courier labels, and you will receive 2 Courier labels if you are using your own Courier service. So one is to mail the application to VFS and second is to receive the passport back from the VFS and the Indian consulate. If you are using VFS offered Courier label, only one Courier label will be available, and that is to mail the application, and VFS will print out the return Courier label and send to the address that you have mentioned in the mailing address. And if you have the return Courier label, then you can include that in the application package and send it to VFS, and make sure that the return address that is mentioned on the Courier label is your mailing address, and the same address needs to be mentioned in the government application form. Once you collect all the documents, application form, the payment receipt, print out all of them, prepare an application package, and then take it to the FedEx office because you have VFS offered Courier label, and then you can send out the mail to the VFS address that I have mentioned. It depends on the center you are located close to. So basically consular jurisdiction, if you are in Texas, it is Houston center. You need to send to this particular address. Once you have submitted your application, you will receive an email confirmation from the VFS, and after that they will check your documents, and if you want to know what is the status of your application at the VFS office, then you can click on track now here. Click on track your application over here. Then you can enter the applicant reference number and the date of birth and provide the CAPTCHA and submit. This will show you the status of your application at VFS Global office. And once VFS Global has accepted all of your documents, they will forward it to the consulate. Then you would have to use government website to know the status of your application at the consulate office, and that application tracking link is available on the government website. So this was the link that we used. Went to US, we selected US. Here is track status. So here you need to provide the applicant reference number, the date of birth and CAPTCHA, and then click on track application status, and the application status starts showing on the government website only when the application is received by the consulate. If the application is with VFS, you need to use VFS website. So these are all the steps. I hope this video has been helpful. It has taken a lot of effort on us. Please like, share and subscribe. I really would appreciate your support, and if you have any questions on the passport renewal application or OCA application, you can comment on this video and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. Take care. Bye bye.